Level Up Latina partners with working women and mamas alike to guide them in achieving fulfilling career and life goals through financial empowerment, professional or leadership coaching, and personal wellness. Find the unique coaching you need to succeed.
You're listening to Vero, Cecy, and Irene, and we are Level Up Latina.
Welcome to the first episode of the Level Up Latina podcast for 2026. Happy New Year. Feliz Dia de Reyes. This is episode 322, and we are back for this year. Todas con mucha energía. Espero que con mucha energía. We're recording on El Día de Reyes. We're recording today, El Día de Reyes. Aquí estamos de regreso. We are going to be talking about a little bit about us, a little bit about la tradición de la rosca de Reyes, since we are recording on Día de Reyes. But before we get into that, ¿cómo están mis co-hosts el día de hoy?
Good. Feeling good. Excited to be together for the new year. Welcome back, everybody.
Feliz Año Nuevo. Happy to be back. Feeling good. A little on the exhausted side. As you can see my crazy hair. Look at this. I've been pulling on it all day to wake up. But I am happy to be back with you ladies and our audience, por supuesto.
Nice. Was welcome. Pero sí, como les decía off air yesterday and today, I was feeling this topic because it's, Día de Reyes. Yesterday me puse a hacer la rosca de Reyes. And as we welcome, as Latinas, as Mexicanas, as we welcome the new year, we also celebrate este Día de los Santos Reyes. And it's actually one of my favorite traditions from when I was a little kid. It makes me think of, just the journey that they had, los tres Reyes Magos, to find little baby Jesus. So with that, it made me think of our history, como amigas, our individual journeys. So for today's episode, I want us to reintroduce ourselves for those that might be new to the Level Up Latina podcast, and also tell us maybe one moment around the break, because we did take a 2-week break, I think, from podcasting, maybe a little longer, pero bueno, como 2 semanas that we weren't releasing episodes. So if you can share with our audience a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, and a moment from the holiday break, maybe una comidita, un momento, una tradición, or something that you felt grounded you for this season. So I am Cecilia Alejandra. I am one of the coaches and co-hosts of Level Up Latina. I am the eldest daughter. I like to introduce myself as the eldest daughter, one of 3, and that comes with having the eldest daughter syndrome, with always wanting to help, always being responsible for taking care of parents and being first gen. Translating from like a very young age. I always was the translator. I've been married for 10 years. I'm a mother of twin girls who are turning 9 this month. I've been an attorney for over 13 years. I was the first in my family to go to college, grad school, only lawyer in my family. And I am a UCSB gaucho. Fue donde conocí a mis amigasas aquí, Vero and Irene, back in 1999. Woo. Juntas, we've grown a lot. I think, I know that what sparked that little, la semillita, the seed of us coaching the next generation of women, was born really during our college years when we were all in Hermanas Unidas Juntas, an organization that Vero co-founded back our freshman year in college. So another thing about me is that I love, what we've done here with Level Up Latina, the way we coach women, the way we just work together, right, for growth. Like, that's one of my favorite things that we do here with Level Up Latina. I love to cook during this season, diciembre, enero. Like I said, I started off saying that I made una rosca. I hice 2 roscas de Reyes yesterday. My first time doing baking one was last year. Me salió buena, so I'm like, okay, why not? Let's do it again. Me salió rica. I've been making tamales, but again, it's only during the season que me da por cocinar mucho, just very elaborate meals, and then on the weekends here and there, pero el resto del año just kind of like normal cooking. And then one moment that definitely grounded me during the break was on Christmas Eve, a private concert that was given to me by my husband, my 2 daughters. It was beautiful. They played the piano, they sang, Christmas songs, Christmas carols. Y estuvo muy bonito. They were very committed. They were practicing for a few days and didn't want me to listen to what they were practicing. So that was definitely a moment that I really enjoyed during the break.
Les parto la rosca, no la madre. Entendido. Gracias. So, Cecy, it's trippy. I'll go next. I'm Vero. I'm the comic relief of the team, but I think we all have a really good sense of humor. It helps, you know. Cecy has her graciosaness. Irene tiene también su gran sentido del humor, and I think that's what helps us. That's sort of the glue, along with loving each other, respecting each other, giving each other hard truths, and being like, yo, you know, we're like the sisters that I believe we never thought we would have. And then Irene and I constantly fighting because we're both the youngest. So it's perfectly fine. But the eldest keeps us, you know, like, yeah, cálmense. The moderator.
I'm the moderator.
So for me, a little bit about myself, I am Vero, first gen Latina, Mexican American, Chicana, que viva la mujer, poder de la mujer, 100%. Went to UCSB. I graduated a year after you guys. I was a 5-year senior. So that was me. I was really enjoying the college life. And I said, I don't know. I think like many of us, we didn't know what we wanted to do. I just know I wanted to do something special. And I feel that college was one of the best times of my life. Not, you know, if I were to go back, I wouldn't change anything really of it. I would just want to relive it because it was so darn awesome. Loved being a part of Hermanas. Loved being part of the, you know, the UCSB campus. Cecy, last year we had to go back. It was my first time going back as an alumni, officially being part of like alumni like traditions. So after college, I mean, I grew up in Watts and I grew up in the hood. I live in Compton, so I still live in the hood. You can, you know, it took me 20 years to catch my man, not catch him, to get him. My husband now, which I met through Cecy in college. And back then, you know, it was one of those, like it was a hunt for life, you know, and things worked out. He ended up moving from the Bay to LA and then I got him. 4 kids back to back. We have now an 8, soon to be 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 3-year-old. So we had them back to back. We are learning to be together. Yesterday, mind you guys, this is a retake of yesterday because we had technical difficulties. So yesterday we were trying to figure out how long I had been married. I thought I was going on 6 years. I thought it was 5 years going on 6, maybe going on, but it ended up being that how many years? It was 7? So then Irene was like,
7.
Yeah, I'm going to count it for you.
I just wanted to say that.
Años. So yes, it was 7 years. So that's who I am. But at the same time, I've been a year back at work after being on an 8-year hiatus, starting our family, learning how to be a wife, learning how to be a mom, learning how to be just relearn me. If you are just joining the podcast, if you listen back, you'll notice that I'm like, I have a life coach and I have a coach because I went through such a challenging time in refinding myself and not being that independent, productive moneymaker was really hard. It was a really hard time for me to realize that I can be all things and I can be a multitude of things. And right now, this is the season that I'm in. But I love coaching. It started from a long time ago. You know, while I was in Hermanas, while I was in college, I was an advisor with through EOP. I did the whole thing. I loved it, and I just really love giving back to women. I didn't realize how much women were going to make an impact in my life because I was always the guys' girl. I always had homies, the homeboys, cooler with the guys and not with the girls. And now I have very strong, amazing women around me. Yesterday, we missed out. Didn't get a chance to share it, but Senator Monique Limon was a historic moment yesterday for the state of California, sworn in as the 50th pro tem president. So it was a very beautiful moment. I was getting a play-by-play by everyone that was there, and there was, the mariachi for the national anthem. They sang the national anthem. She had banda at the end, letting everyone know that Latinas are in the house. And not just any Latina. She is getting down to business, and she is an amazing person. So I can't wait to see all the awasomeness that happens with her there.
And she's been on our show, right? I don't remember the episode, but she's been on our show.
Sure. I came from a corporate background. Right now I'm back in the automotive industry. I am relearning being out, back in the professional world. Not much has changed, but I have changed a lot since being in the workforce. But I love working with women. I love working with Latinas. Getting to that next part of their lives is more of like getting out of your head and into your life kind of deal. Because I think that as Latinas, we get a chance to overthink a lot and second guess ourselves. And seeing women grow in confidence is part of the holidays that grounded me, Cecy. as I thought about it, since we had a chance to like think about our through the day, right after yesterday, my mom being sick and being in the hospital was really a moment of learning to appreciate what we have. I think many times we take it for granted, right? Having our parents, having our mothers. And for me, it was very a big moment in the holidays of just like, hey, what really matters is being with our family, being with our loved ones, making the best of it. All the material things really are second. With that came the New Year's. Like I had never really done a big celebration with my kids for New Year's. I'm like, oh, Happy New Year's. And we do a quick hug with the kids and, go to bed. And then I did a super like last minute, let me blow up some balloons. The kids helped me. We put them up on the ceiling. We put that whole tablecloth, to hold them up. And we did a countdown with them like Eastern time because we wanted them to get their normal rest because they've been sleeping late. School was starting this Monday. So we ended up doing that. And the kids keep talking about it. And I think it's really cute. Where it's like, it was just a simple little moment. It wasn't anything expensive or fancy. We have tons of balloons left over from all their birthday parties. And I put up a regular ass mantel on the top that tenía también globos. It was such a cute moment that it's like, this is what we have. This is our little unit, and the kids aren't going to be this small forever. And I know you guys have heard me. I have gone through some very chaotic moments and have felt very overwhelmed and burnt out on the motherhood aspect and the motherhood part of my life. Because it's so hard. So with that, I'm really glad that I have you two ladies here. I have my family and we have our GFS community, which also helps me kind of keep it together. So
that was beautiful. The balloons. I tried to do that last minute and I couldn't figure it out. And I showed Luis. I was like, look at Vero did it. It looks so cool. And he's like, she's married to an engineer. That's why they were able to figure it out.
I actually figured it out because the tape wouldn't stay. So I was like, yeah, the tape wouldn't stay. So I'm like, I got this.
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't find the tape, but último I was like, se los aventé. But anyway, thank you for sharing that. I think that like uno de niños se acuerda, o sea, yo me acuerdo de las cosas de niños. So it's like se quedan las cosas grabadas. So I'm sure that's going to be something that's going to be in their memories forever. I looked up the episode donde está Monique Limon. It's episode 127. We recorded it in 2021. So check it out. Check her out. To our listeners, to our new listeners, to our old listeners, Monique Limon was on that episode. Y tú, Irene, tell us a little bit about yourself and that moment that grounded you during the holiday break.
Welcome to 2026, everybody. I'm really excited to be back. If you're new to our podcast or if you've heard us introduce ourselves before, hopefully there's some nuggets in this episode and everything after. I love these ladies. You've already got the gist of our friendship and this business and why we started it. We're all moms. We all have that in common. We all have multiple children running around. My kids are grown, 13, 14, and 19. It's beautiful to have older kiddos. It's such a different experience. First gen daughter of immigrants, single mom, youngest of 6. Like Vero said, por eso nos peleamos, because we're the babies. We love the attention. And I've been married for 20 years in 3 weeks, and I'm turning 45 in 3 weeks. So it's lots of celebrating going on over here. We will celebrate in Fiji because I am a traveler through and through. I was doing the math today, and I have traveled so much since August, and I'll be traveling every month until June this year. So it's going to be wild. Everything from, graduations in Seattle to daughter trips to Vietnam to going to concerts in Milan to possibly going to Alaska with my youngest porque ya le debo a trip. My daughter gets so many one-on-one trips. I only have one daughter. So she's the queen. It's been a blessing to travel as much as I get to travel. My mom paved the way, leaving her little ranchito with 1 year of education to come to the U.S. and raise 6 kids and do everything she did with all her courage and bravery. So I get to do that and a bunch more because of my mom and her legacy. I love being a coach. I love being an executive. I get to lead a wonderful staff. Someone asked me yesterday, a potential new client said, how do you do it all? I listen to the podcast. Loves us, by the way. Loves us girls. And I said, I don't do it all. I have an amazing team. I take pride in the team that I have both here at LUL and in my day job, which is primarily as a fundraiser, running $1 million company, $1 million plus every year and doing it well and being proud of it. It was hard knocks, man. It's been a career of 20 years and learning and growing. And that's why we started LUL, because There's so many mistakes we were making and so much leadership that we needed and mentorship that we didn't have, and people didn't look like us or sound like us. So Cecy, Vero, and Irene said, we can be the coaches, we can be the mentors and the leaders. So we're really proud of that. We believe that women are capable, ambitious, educated, strong, but we are often underpaid, not confident, burned out, scared. So that's why we do this work. So if you need a coach, if you want to make career moves, money moves, if you want to heal, if you want a relationship that's stronger, if you want a team that's stronger, if you want to build a business, if you want to grow your hobbies, whatever you want, there's something for everybody at LUL, whether it's like our Guilt-Free Squad group coaching community or one-on-one coaching with one of us coaches. This is a space to grow, and that's what we all have in common. A lot of growth entre las tres. Y the thing that has grounded me over the break, other than being sick, which slowed me down, but I'm so much better today, just having my kids home, all of us together, is always really nice. I've cooked so many home-cooked meals like Cecy. I have kept just a beautiful, warm, cozy house, candles on, nice lighting, smells, vibes, Sade. I was telling my husband the other day, and I grabbed his hand, and I had like a moment. I was like, this is the thing I dreamed of when I was younger. This exact moment. That. It was the exact moment because Sade was playing, and Sade always felt like a grown-up artist.
Oh my God, it gave me the chills. It reminds me of you from our college years. Yeah.
I love Sade. She was playing earlier. But I would always think like grown-ups must listen to Sade, have a glass of wine in their gorgeous house with their pets and their kids, and everyone's perfect and happy and healthy. And you see them on TV in a commercial. I don't know, freaking a timeshare or some shit, right? People are perfect in those commercials. But I literally thought that's what being a grown-up is. A beautiful, clean, safe home, joy, comfort, Sade, maybe a cocktail. Maybe not a cocktail. You don't have to drink. I'm not a big drinker, but it was such a beautiful moment. And I look at him and I'm like, this is what I always dreamed about. I'm like in a dream. I've always had this dream. And he's like, that's awesome, babe. He was like reading like a total dork, like reading about stocks. My daughter was doing something next to me. My son was like eating at the table. The other one was probably on an electronic, we call kids screenagers. One was probably on a screen. I probably didn't envision that. But the point is, it was a beautiful moment. And, we have earned it, ladies. We have earned it. And it grounds us to be grateful for all the little things like music, peace, our homes, and quiet.
I love that. The advantage, I guess, of having older kids. Que te dejen.
For real.
Right? Yeah.
Different story. Like I said probably yesterday, my kids can wipe their own butts. It's a different life than running around with little ones.
Yeah. But no, I totally, when you said that, it's funny because I got the chills. I was like, oh my God, I remember you playing Sade back in, in the dollhouse. I still
do. She was on earlier. I love Sade. I was playing Lauryn Hill for the kids. Lauryn Hill that's on soundtracks, like music that people don't know of hers. And I was like, this is good music, guys. I played Mary J. Blige. I played one of her covers from a 1975 song, Sweet Thing. I was like, kids, mama knows music. I sound like an old lady for sure. I was really in a Zen mode.
You were talking about, artistas, cantantes, because you are from Inglewood. I watched the documentary, the Becky G. On Netflix.
Don't tell me anything.
No te voy a decir nada, pero está bueno.
I heard it's really good. Yeah. Don't tell me it. Don't spoil it for any of us. I'm super excited to watch it.
Yeah, it's good. All right. So to talk a little bit more about our journeys, and again, bringing it back to the topic of the three wise men, los tres reyes magos, they were guided by faith and purpose when they were following esa estrellita, the little star, to find baby Jesus. So we at Level Up Latina, as co-hosts and coaches, we are guided by our passions, by who we are. In my case, I would want to say my authenticity, but también ustedes son muy auténticas. So as a co-host and coach, what is guiding you this year? Like, what are your talents, your gifts, your lessons or wisdoms? Like, what are you bringing to our community in 2026?
For me, working mom of young kids with trying to survive in marriage as well, to not put too much on yourself. I'm going to slow it down. And I've always been the person that's like, simplify. But if we all know me, I'm also like, I can do it because I have been able to do it. The only thing is that my mind hasn't caught up to the reality of who I am now, right? So it took a while to figure out that I am not the same person. I do have a capacity that now has to be split in many different ways. So it wasn't just a focus on one thing and I could give it 100% of my focus and get that done. So I'm going to come in with not just the kindness, but more, or the grace, but the reality that we're not meant to be split in so many different ways, and really focus on the things that are important, right? The important things. Our time is really counted on this earth. Our time is a gift, right? The present is a gift. And I know that we always think of like, what are we going to do next? What are we going to do next? Which is beautiful. I think that we should all have dreams and ambitions and drive. And that's what keeps us going for the future, right? And we can't dwell on the past and the bad things that have happened, but they help shape who we are and how we're going to take on the next couple of steps, right? So for me, it's going to be avoid the overwhelmment, really take on what's necessary. Don't overly spread yourself that thin, because you're not going to enjoy it. You know, there's nothing to enjoy when you're stressed out and trying to be present and trying to do these. So for me, it's going to be, I'm going to bring in the reality, the realness of it's okay to slow down. It's okay to take on less. It's okay to do this. And if you're done with it, then be like, you know what? How about that? That you were mentioning XYZ, I'll help you out with it, instead of just saying yes constantly. So the reminder that it's okay to struggle, that everything is temporary and that you will get through it. And when we're in community, it's possible, you know, because it brings in that realness that you're not alone. You're not the only one having, you know, a hard time in your marriage, or a hard time being a present mom, or a hard time being a decent boss or manager, right? Or whatever it is as a professional that you are. And it's January. So it really means like we're coming back from a month that really has taken up so much of us, right? And wanting to do traditions and wanting to pass on traditions and, you know, these expectations, and sometimes falling short. So I'm going to bring in the realness of it's okay. It's okay to slow down. It's okay to take your time. It's okay to not take on too much. And it's real. We're all going through something that is probably not letting us be the best we can be, but it's all a progress. It's all progress. It's all a little bit of work, and it's better done in community.
Muy cierto. Muy cierto. What about you, Irene? What are you bringing to our community this year?
Let's see. What do I bring to the community? I think we all will lean on our strengths this year. So we all have such unique personalities, and we tend to bring like what our constant personality is. We can't help ourselves, right? So I'm excited for just continuing to be an open book. I had mentioned it before with you ladies, like the wisdom that we have earned, the hard-earned wisdom. All that we've done and achieved has been hard-fought and beautiful. The fact that we all have these careers, these long-term marriages, these families, you know, nothing great is easy. And it's like so cliche, but it's so true. So I hope to bring to the table what I have brought, and more transparency around how it's okay to go through hard things. I was just talking to my husband today about just the beauty. He was telling me how he's been reflecting a lot on the fact that we are going to celebrate 20 years together, and he is just so proud of it. And today we always have a question at the table with the kids, and today's question is, what is one problem you solved in the last year? And we had like different answers of things we solved. And my husband's was, you know, I've done a really good job of not being defensive with Mom. Like if she starts to share something with me, I just hear, I'm just present. And it's something you got to work on all the time when you're married, making sure to not have ego or be defensive. And that's something that I feel I solve every year. And I thought that was really admirable that he said that. But I thought that's so beautiful, because that's like growth. 20 years in us. We wouldn't have answered that 5, 10, maybe even 15 years in. So I think bringing that wisdom to the things that we've learned and sharing it with other people and giving them permission to embrace that things are hard, but they're worth it if you say they're worth it, if you want them, right? Long-standing marriages, fulfilling careers, motherhood. Motherhood's not for everyone, but when you decide to venture into this thing called motherhood, it's going to take something out of you, and it's going to be challenging, and it's going to be very hard for some years. You will lose yourself in it, whether you like it or not. It's just how it goes. Never really come across a woman that didn't say that there were years that she doubted herself as a mother. I've never had a person like that has come to me and said, oh, it was easier than I thought. This was awesome. I found it so simple. Like, not at all. Like, there are challenges in that. So bringing those honest challenges to the light and embracing them and being okay with how hard things can be, I want to lean into that. And I want to lean into being unapologetically myself. I am very proud of myself. I toot my own horn. I share my big plans. I have big dreams, big visions. And I don't shy away from that, because I believe in the law of attraction and manifestation. And I've always kind of been that person. If you listen to this podcast, you'll hear that I believe that I am worthy of all these things in my life. out of probably just being crazy, because I believed things before I even knew what the path was or how I would even achieve it. And it may have sounded crazy to people, and yet the things were achieved. So some way, somehow, back to the hard work thing, likely that hard work coincides with dreaming and dreaming big. So I want to bring that to women every day with my clients. It's like, whatever you want, let's achieve it. What do you want first? How are we going to get there second? And third, how bad do you want it? Like, how much are you willing to work and be consistent? One of my gifts, because I think you used the word gifts earlier, is my gift to be consistent. I'm like consistent to a fault. Consistency is my middle name. I don't know what it is about me, but I have that bone and I can be consistent. I can be so consistent that it's just a routine that I don't get bored with. I'm not displeased. I'm not unhappy. I'm not stressed by going through my consistency battle. It's a battle for some. I guess for me, it's a routine. What that has led to is that because I can be consistent, things work out for me because I don't give up on them too soon. I go through the fire when they're hard. I go through emotions when it's hard. I go through struggles, but I stay and I go and I go and I go and I go. So I think that consistency is something that a lot of women want in their lives and want to not give up on and want to be accountable to. So, you know, for my clients that are with me now or that want to be with me in the future, like, it's a matter of us just doing what we said we're going to do and reminding ourselves every day why we said we wanted it and not giving up on it. So I'm excited to bring that to the table in the next year into our community.
The experiences that I bring to the table with aging, with being disciplined, like my whole journey, I've been very disciplined. I stick to routines and I'm good with that. So in setting goals, like that's how I've worked with clients in the past. It's like, all right, you have this goal. All right, how are we going to get that? How are we going to achieve that? Checking in every session, like, you know, giving them homework, things like that. That's what I could want to continue bringing to the table. And again, my own lived experiences as I age, I want to say that I'm aging gracefully. Like, I'm not like scared of it. I think none of us are. I think we've embraced it, and I love that about us, that we share like, oh my God, I'm feeling this. Oh my God, premenopause, menopause, this. At 44, you know, I want to be transparent with that. Like, I'm feeling this, I'm going through menopause. Even, and we've talked about this in other episodes, being the sandwich generation, taking care of, you know, our young ones, but also our aging and ill parents. Like, I've learned so much. And I've shared a lot, if you're new to the podcast, but I've shared a lot in the past. Like, my mom passed away, oh my God, 2 years ago this month. And she was very ill at the end. And we had to learn how to navigate just the system of getting caregivers and all that. So I bring that to the table too, because that part is really hard too. But yeah, just being authentic, sharing those experiences, sharing also the journey of, you know, having this goal of going to law school and passing the bar, not passing it the first time, but not giving up, you know, not giving up to a goal that I had and just going for it. So that's what I want to continue bringing to the table, to our, you know, GFSers, the Guilty Squad, to our collectives, to our clients. That's who I am. And maybe not managing everything perfectly, motherhood, career, business, pero, you know, echándole ganas and giving your best every day. That's what I want to bring this year to our community. All right, so I have our final question for today. So again, you know, Dia de Reyes, we partimos la rosca. La rosca, it's round. We cut in, you know, find baby Jesus. And there's a meaning there, right? We todos nos sentamos a la mesa y compartimos un pedazo de pan. We share bread. So if you could place one intention into la rosca de este año for our listeners, what would it be and why? And I can go first because I've had some time to think about it. So this year, I want to invite you to sit at the table and honor your worth, use your voice, and allow yourself to grow without shrinking. And if that's a challenge for you because you're too shy or you've never been, you know, comfortable using your voice or just, you know, showing your worth, I want to invite you to check out our services, the Guilt-Free Squad. That's a monthly session where we meet with women alike, and we have different topics that we bring to the table. We have our next one this week on Saturday, led by Coach Irene. Check out our collectives that we've had. Well, last year we had 3, and I'm assuming we're going to have one in the springtime. So keep in the loop to find out more about the collective. That those are usually 5 to 6 week after week 1 hour sessions. So again, if you need that extra push, aquí estamos para apoyarlas porque nada se puede completar solas. Por eso estamos aquí para apoyarlas. Like, we are here to push you, to help you. Just show up for yourself, for others around you.
I can go next. I would say, like, my intention for our listeners, whether you're a client or not, or in our guilt-free squad or not, would be to, I hope for you, for all those listening, that you lean into what makes you strong and great. And everybody has that thing. Everybody has that it factor. If you haven't had the time to identify what yours is, in our coaching, we obviously have that process, but you don't even need a coach. If you want to sit and reflect and do personality tests or ask the people around you or people that'll be brutally honest with you, people that you've known for many years, identify what your strengths are and lean into your strengths. Because I find that many women are unnecessarily competing with other women because they're different than them, or many women are not shining because of a lack of confidence or uncertainty or doubt, this doubt that they feel in themselves. The person that I met with yesterday said that, feeling like a fraud, even though you're like killing it at work, growing, getting promoted, doing well, like feeling like a fraud. And I think that idea is so prevalent. And my intention would be for more women to step into what makes them great, because nobody's a fraud if they're being genuinely themselves. Nobody's a fraud. I love to speak. I'm gonna go speak. I want to be authentic, right? Cecy loves to dance. She's going to go dance. She's going to be authentic. We're not going to compete. Vero will make you laugh till you are peeing on yourself. You can't speak. Carcajadas, hyena. She'll bring it out of me. I'm not going to compete with her in an open mic. I am not. I am not going to compete with Cecy at the Samba Club, right? Like, she's going to dance samba. I am not. I will be in the corner sentadita porque calladita y sentadita me ve más bonita. But if someone hands me a mic, because we are going to speak from the stage and we need to speak for the next 45 minutes, yes, I will yank that mic out of your hand and be the first one up there. And I want that intention for everybody. And you girls can pick your own thing. It doesn't have to be like dancing or humor. That was like a very shallow example, but true. No less, you both have that skill. I want women to lean into who they are. And I worry the years of like ChatGPT, AI, and everyone's like leaning into AI. Like, there's I was listening to a really cool podcast today with Aziz Ansari and Amy Poehler. I love the Good Hang podcast. And they were saying, Aziz Ansari, the comedian, who I've always thought is really funny, he doesn't use technology. He has a flip phone. He purposely doesn't really check his email. Like, he really is connected to the world in a way that's a little old school. And so his judgment of AI is that, while we need it and while we're going forward with it, I thought it was like spot on when he said, people are using it to the point that no one sounds like themselves. It's like a generic answer. AI gives you what it thinks you want to hear. It's so inauthentic if everybody's using it, right? So how do we lean into ourselves? And then we're like looking at other people and thinking like, oh, they're the best writer. Oh, they're the best speaker. Oh, they're the best thinker. What if they're using AI? We don't really know in this age if it's technology that's making someone bright. So why don't you just go inward to be bright? Go inward. And my intention is for people to just go inward. You don't have to lean into AI, but if you want to, cool. My husband is all about it right now. He's leaning so heavily into AI. That's his brain. He loves to learn new things. He loves to embrace new technologies. Great. Good for him, right? It'll never be mine. Him do him, me do me. So I hope that women will lean into themselves without this comparison of, I'll never do social media like that person, or I'll never speak from the stage like that person, or I'll never write like that person. Like, you don't know what tools they're using. You don't know who's helping them behind the scenes. You just know to be you. And I want that for all women, to be themselves, regardless of all the tools and the shiny things that make everybody else look good. Because you are already amazing. Everybody's born amazing. We just got to bring out your natural gifts and talents that are already in you, because God gave them to you when you were born. Your mama gave them to you. Your daddy gave them to you, whoever you believe in the universe. So I want us to find those gifts, us too, all of us, right? To find them and bring them out.
Thank you. That's beautiful.
I really would want them, we're sitting down, breaking bread, breaking that rosca. Find that baby. Find that baby. Rescue it. Find the baby. Don't run away from the challenge. Yeah. Embrace it. I feel that everyone's like, que no me toque el bebé. Ay, que no me toque. And we all kind of want it. You know what I mean? We all kind of deep down want it. Queremos tirar la fiesta. We all kind of...
so true.
Like, I make tamales. It's like, if I make the tamales,
you
how would I make
the tamales for the party.
Yeah,
no te hagas. You want to make the tamales.
So no te hagas.
Girl, you'll make them.
I'll be like, Chad,
you
pretend you Mexican grandma.
You'll make them.
Okay. I feel that it's a great way. It's a great metaphor to sometimes that we dig into things and then we don't know what we're going to find. And sometimes we want to avoid it. Just dig in. I know Irene said inward, and I feel that instead of avoiding the challenge, I feel the baby's the challenge. Embrace it. 2026, it's just the beginning. I know that I love when we start off and everyone's like positive and they're really thinking optimistically, and shit hits the fan and life gets hard because life is hard. That sometimes we want to throw in the towel and want to just give up and quit either our relationships or our jobs, our friends, all these things that take up our time and our energy. And like Irene mentioned earlier, that make you have a routine, that make you have consistency. And sometimes we want to break up with things, or people, right? The thing is that push through, accept the challenge, embrace the challenge, grow. And in that, you'll see what you are capable of, the things you're not willing to do. And sometimes it reminds us that, hey, even though I did accept the challenge and I was willing to do it, it's not for me. And it's okay to reevaluate, adapt, and be flexible. If you listen to this podcast and then you tune into podcasts from the past, you'll see that that's kind of like a message that comes back up with me. It's okay. It is okay. Be adaptable. Be flexible. Also, have consistency. Know what your limits are. Know what you are capable of, which is also reaching into what your gifts and your strengths are. And maybe you haven't found them. Push yourself to get there. And really, like, we're cuarentonas. And I love the way Cecy says it. And it's our kind of our second slogan is cuarentonas y buenonas. Like, life gets harder as we are in this kind of stage of our lives. But damn, it's so much more beautiful. Like, there's everything we've worked towards, everything we're still like, you're like, fuck, like Irene said earlier too. It's what we've been praying for, y'all. We're living the life that we've been praying for. If you're single and you're praying for that future husband, the future partner that supports you and gives you that truth and gives you love and gives you a family and gives you everything that contributes to your happiness, that isn't your happiness, right? It contributes towards your happiness. Later down the line, realize this is what I wanted. This is what I prayed for. This is what I dreamt about. So embrace the challenge. Push yourself to know what you are capable of. Push yourself to know also like, hey, these are the things I don't want. So if that little baby Jesus pops up in your rosca, embrace it. Tira la fiesta más chingona. Or make it boring so that no one wants you to get the baby next year. Whatever. But make it you, embrace it, and do your best with it. I hope that's okay.
I love that. You know what? I love that. And it goes perfectly with this last quote that I want to share. And speaking of La Chata, I asked Chata, give me like a closing quote or phrase that Coach Cecy with Level Up Latina would say and tie in, like the intentions of the year in la rosca. Okay. And like this is what spat out. Ya me conoce la chata. It said. And it ties in with what Vero said about finding the baby Jesus. So, inside la rosca, everyone shares el mismo pan, but each of us may receive something different, just like life. Some seasons bring responsibility, some bring surprises, and some bring sweet moments of growth. Me encantó. So, a ver qué nos espera este año. Thank you for indulging me with this topic con la rosca. Vayan a partir su rosca si no la han partido. I hope you get the baby Jesus. And like Vero said, todas estamos buscando al muñequito. So that's a wrap, ladies. Thank you for being here. If you want to continue the conversation, find us on our social media handles on Instagram and Facebook. Our handle is @LevelUpLatina. Our email is admin@leveluplatina.com. And if you want to learn more about our services, we mentioned the Gilfie Squad, we mentioned our collectives, and to learn more about one-on-one coaching, that is on our website, leveluplatina.com. That is wrap, ladies. Feliz Día de los
Feliz
Reyes.
año.
Vayan a comerse su rosca.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.
Las queremos.
Feliz año.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.